Oh, I'm Margaret in Windsor. That's my real name. I was kidnapped in 1941 from Buckingham Palace and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers. I still have to use that name. I've been on Facebook since what 20 April of 2012, and YouTube trying to get my message across about my kidnapping. I found out in 1983 late about my real name and who my father is, King Edward VIII, who my mom is, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, who was wed to my father, and she was actually queen in 1936, should have remained. It was an attempt, well, it wasn't an attempt, they did it, character assassination to take down my father because he wouldn't take orders from the Illuminati. And then when I was born, they kidnapped me in 1941 at age 2. Uncle George, illegal George VI, helped take his own brother down with lies. He was never married to Wallace Simpson, an impostor did. And it gets into, and I have been told, and I'm not going to mention it because common sense would tell you that if the truth is told about what was done to my father and my mother, Grace Kelly was an American. She married Prince Rainier of Monaco. You have all, and she's a beautiful lady. I don't mean to distract from her, but my mom was an American. She's sister to artist Georgia O'Keeffe. I shouldn't even have to say that. My father and mother were very in love, and they didn't take my father down because of my mom. They did try to use that she was a commoner. All right. Well, the people of Great Britain, I actually lived on the Appalachian Trail here. I came to Roanoke in 36. My mom and dad were still alive. I don't know how they lived. I don't know that part. I do know they were alive and they'd always remained married. And this family, part of my family, some of them were here in the States, and I know they helped. But the Windsor family right there, and I don't want to lump them all in one pot, but excuse me, but they seem to, there's one of them, and I'm not going to name her, that I know tried to help me, okay? Maybe one day I'll get to thank her, but otherwise, it's been a takedown of my father and no attempt to tell the truth. Um, and God knows, Elizabeth always knew about me. She was 15 when I was kidnapped. She certainly knew who my mother is, that my father was married to her. She knows all of it. And herein is what I want to say. The Dempseys here, where I grew up, and I was told the twins were murdered. They were born out of wedlock, and this was a family that was so poor, dirt poor. It's not just that, it was the inhumane treatment, that the things they did to me, and what later the government did to me. And I didn't understand it. I wrote a book about mind control. I worked for doctors. I worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, in Huntsville, Alabama in 80. So anyway, it gets into writing a book and it being stopped because of the doctors that were in it. And Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman, physician from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, was one of them that tried to kill me April Fool Day of 80. And I thought it was because of the book. Now I'm going to fast forward to the plane he was on, he was supposed to be on, was the KAL that was shot down en route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea, August the 31st of 83. And I became a candidate to replace him in that special election. I didn't win. It was about 20 candidates, and I came in 7th. Actually, the district attorney, Buddy Darden, won, and he was a good man, great man. I liked him. No one could have filled the shoes better. Well, Larry McDonald was a cold-blooded killer. Larry Flint flew me out there October twice in 83, and he did an endorsement that I usually put up, and I put pictures of that family, and I give background and photos and things of I wrote and tried to tell. I'm not doing that today, but anyway, Mr. Flint did an article endorsement. He helped me in 1983 in that campaign, and I was flown out there twice to Bel Air, his home, and he was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, in March the 6th of 78. And I was doing the book then about a medical malpractice about mind control and programming people to kill. It's not just to shoot. You can program people to appear that they committed suicide, just like Robin Williams, which is a total lie. There's lists of these type murders, and it's invisible, so some of these you can prove it was done deliberately. And I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. So then I find out about my kidnapping, late 83, my real name. So I go to Facebook. I can't get an attorney. It's so high profile. Elizabeth, her dad was actually, they took my father down, kidnapped me, and they installed a illegal monarch, the brother George VI, thus Elizabeth, thus Charles, thus William, supposedly, and unless it stopped. Now that I've probably lost some people, and they'll think I'm duplicating it, but if I don't tell it again, people would not get the gist of it all. And I'm not sure they do anywhere, or a lot of people don't care. But thank goodness for the few that are encouraging that I get the comments from. And I don't want it to go unheeded. I read them, okay, along with the ugly, sick remarks that some other people made. What I want to say was your media is controlled by the Rockefellers that kidnapped me, the Illuminati, global government, that's your United Nations is the front for it. So all of it's been in place for a long time. It's a little bit like George Orwell's 1984. But anyway, what I really wanted to say is when I started, well, I said that when I started researching on back, I found out it's not just me saying this. I was wiped out of history, and so was my real father. Wallace married a double, an imposter, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Illegal title, illegal people. And when they bring up Harry marrying Meghan, the press is always, and it's controlled by the very people that put her in, she's illegal, her father, and they don't tell the truth about my dad. They've been bringing up, when they talk about Harry and Meghan, they bring up and they still say that my dad, King Edward VIII, abdicated to marry Wallace Simpson. No, he didn't. No, he was married to my mom, and a double married Wallace. She's an American spy, and thus the takedown of my beautiful father for having integrity and kidnapping his only daughter. And he remained married to my mom, and they were alive in October the 20th of 86 when I came to Roanoke. And the double died in 72 and was buried at Frogmore, Windsor Castle. And I don't know if they put that, well, he's not the monarch. He was nothing but an imposter, just like Wallace. So I think she might have been buried there. I don't know. Anyway, what I wanted to say after giving background on it, the networks, your media, Donald Trump told you the truth, and man, have they worked him over. They've gone, I knew they were going to do this. He told you the truth about the press. The press has deleted me. They've deleted about the global government that controls them, or they go along with it. They deleted the news. They've always known about my dad being taken down, married to my mom. They've always known about my kidnapping, and I went to them with the FBI letter about the book. I went to them with all of it over and over with what little money I had. And the local news media here knows it. Jack Hartsfield was a reporter, 1980 in Huntsville, Alabama, the space there. That's near where I was taken. And he was FBI, also undercover FBI. He was an honest man, and he paid a price for it. Anyway, what I wanted to really get to here is if they don't get you any other way, they'll try to get you your mental health. They'll suggest, and the media can certainly do it, and they're busy bees, suggesting now that Trump's overweight. Well, I have a problem with my weight. The man's got so much stress from all this crap going on. Who in the heck wouldn't eat out of stress or whatever? I mean, the man's doing a job and everybody's attacking him. Uh, Now then, they're following it up. They hint that he's mentally unstable and all this with this book that this bum just printed and was published. And I'm going to tell you something. If the media hadn't all picked up on that, it wouldn't have been a bestseller. It's a lie. Donald Trump's told the truth, and so have I. And they've deleted anything about me except Hustler Magazine's article, I guess, endorsement, and I've put it up. So your mainstream media is a bunch of crap. There's no word for them. Why haven't they touched on the mind control murders like Virginia Tech next door, the 33 that were killed by a program shooter? There's a long list of them, and Jack Hartsfield had them. He died, I'm sorry to say. He was a couple of years older than me, but he died a couple of years ago. Now, I wanted to go to this. Oprah. Now, listen to this. They're trying to take down Trump. He's not part of the global government, the Illuminati. As far as I know, or they wouldn't be going after him. So now then they're going after him with everything they've got. Lies, innuendos, just suggestion of mental health problems. I knew it was going to happen. Now then, here comes Oprah. Anybody watching all this going on out in Hollywood or around it, in California, San Bernardino? Well, it got close to her 65-acre Oprah. And it was suggested some years back she might run for the presidency. Well, has anybody looked when they just got... This was on CBS this morning, and what's her name that's on the news media every day? She's part of it. I can't think of her name. She's the best friend of Oprah. Well, here they go this morning, and they're telling about Donald Trump this and his health, and is he mentally fit, and he's overweight. Then they follow it, and she's been getting a lot of, I hope this is getting up there, she's been getting a lot of free press all over the place. Why is she getting free press? Anybody ask yourself that? This woman has a problem with weight gain, being overweight. She also owns the rights to franchise to Weight Watchers. And you see her commercials all over the place the last month, I guess. And suddenly she's getting free press that you'd have to pay for if you're running for the presidency. CBS then followed that up this morning with Elizabeth. And I want to tell you how the media is so Illuminati. They even say Rockefeller Plaza there when they're giving the news, morning news. They're all there, I think, unless it's Fox. I'm not sure where they're located. Anyway, they came in with Elizabeth, and I'm not going to call her queen. She's a cold-blooded killer. She needs locked up. She's a traitor, a war criminal. She knew about my kidnapping. The Dempseys over here, of course, knew. They broke the law when they didn't tell it and when they went along with it. And then when I wrote the book, Lina Dempsey, mother of the twins that killed them, they were born out of wedlock, and I was given the name of Peggy that I still have to use. The state of Alabama really marked through the birth certificates because they were born a year prior to me. They're both dead. They were killed by her. So the family covered it up. So here you got the Dempseys, couldn't stay out of church every Sunday morning, so abusive and committed laws. They should have told about my kidnapping, the murder of the twins. They didn't. In fact, when I got on YouTube and Facebook and did the book, they really went after me, Lina Dempsey, the whole bunch of them. They wanted me dead because if the book were published, it might come back to haunt them. The truth might be told about the twins, and then, of course, it would lead to who I really am. Who am I then? The Brits told me, and the Germans. By the way, the British Embassy, and by the way, I'm not going to get into that, how Bushes and all of them come up with this beautiful U.S. Embassy that they dictated where they're going to put it in the UK, in London, I guess, in the UK. Exorbitant. I can't even say right this morning. I've done some other stuff. And it's almost a slap in the face. They kidnapped me in 41, and Roosevelt had made Joe Kennedy ambassador to England, 36 till 46 till they kicked him out, and JFK, well, he's part of the Illuminati, the Roosevelts, and all that. Anyway, it's like a slap in the face, this great U.S. Embassy being plunked down there. Not one word of truth of anything about my father, my mom, me, my sons, or the hell and the crimes committed against us by this country, in this country, and by a lot of my own family and the Winston Churchill. There had to have been, in 1936, Archbishop of Canterbury was involved in it. His name was Cosmo Lang. Now, then, some of this you can video the plot to take down King Edward VIII. And you can go back to Cosmos Lang, 1936, and you can Google him. The part they've left out, they've all lied about, is my mom. Who my mom is. She was married to my father. It was a total lie. Wallace Simpson, he never married her, had anything to do with her, and they totally delete me from history. Being kidnapped, I'm Victoria II, the legal heir to the British crown, and they make Elizabeth this hero. Now then, they got her in her Cinderella when she was crowned, illegally crowned, I might add, in 1953. They've got her with the crown and the jewels and in the carriage like Cinderella. Well, no, I'd fall into the category. I just didn't get to ride, and I really wouldn't want to. Okay, that's not my aim. My aim is to repay the people that helped me, the British citizens, Germans, the American citizens, but most of the Americans don't want to hear anything about this. Me, they tell me, quite frankly, they don't quote, they quote out of Gone with the Wind, don't give a damn. So now then, back to the media. They're all controlled by the Illuminati, Rockefellers, the global government. And following up all this pomp in the press that they were interviewing Elizabeth, and oh, how everybody bows down to her. She's so terrific. She's waited on hand and foot. She's never worked a day in her friggin' life. She wouldn't walk in my shoes 1 second. And they're making a hero out of this traitor. Okay, here's the deal on this, too. They interviewed her, and okay. The Smithsonian owns the, well, I didn't really get all that. They own this program that's upcoming. I don't know what all they own. I do know who the Smithsonian is. But then it's got out here also owned by CBS. That's who I was listening to this morning. And they talking about the crowning of Elizabeth and all her glory. And then you get NBC, and all the others have suddenly been getting photos of little Charlotte. And when I say that, I want the world, before you criticize me, I want the world to see what you did to my sons who are heirs after me and to me in this country before you start placing blame on me. I'm the victim. Thank you, please. Okay,